By the way, we are live on Facebook. That is at spicefm.co.ke. In studio, he is senior partner at Okonji Wanjira and Associates Advocates. It is my brother, my friend Martin Okonji Wanjira. How are you, my brother?
I'm good.
Karibu sana. And it's still trying to get the social media handles correct because the original one we can't use on air because it's something like fokojembe.com. but by next week we'll be good, man.
We'll be good to go.
We'll be good to go.
Yes.
So, Mwikali, listen. Today somebody asked a question, and I want you to get on to today. A lot of people, some people got things to say, because obviously it's landlords and rents. And somebody wrote in and says, "Hi, Mwikali. I'm a landlord and I've rented out a stand-alone house to a tenant. However, after a prolonged period of rent default, I instructed the tenant to vacate within a week. Since then, the tenant has neither shown up nor complied, but has instead double-locked the house. Would it be legally acceptable for me to break the locks, remove the tenant's belongings for safekeeping, and proceed to rent the house to a new tenant?" That is the question. What are your comments? Get on to Spice FM KE. It's all about Kwach's Court. It's all about Legal Tuesday. But before we get to that, because Mwikali is going to break it down for you thoroughly, okay? Before we do that, let's talk about certain matters that have been happening in these, our republics of Kenya, in the past 1 week that are of interest, hopefully to you, but definitely to me. And I said, let's share them with our esteemed advocate and see what he says about that. And then we move forward. Now, the first one, Mwikali, was, I don't know if you saw this yesterday. Apparently, our countries, I did talk about this yesterday. Kenya's plan to sell shares in Hilton and its shares in Hilton and Intercontinental hotels have failed as buyers did not meet the set price. This comes after the Privatization Authority listed them for sale in March and April 2024, following earlier failed attempts. Now, somebody says, if such assets fail to attract investors, what does that mean? Clearly, our economy is deteriorating, yet we keep sugarcoating how stable and skyrocketing it is. Poor governance and pillars of greed. But the question here is, now, we know Intercon and Hilton are smack in the center. Well, Hilton is smack in the center of the CBD.
Yes.
As far as we're concerned, Intercon was the spot. It's still there opposite Bunge and Kenyatta Mausoleum. Yabo? Yes. Right next to Nyaya House. So it's still, what happens if, because clearly this is the second time that a price has been set and buyers are not biting.
Yes.
What happens next?
You see them being, what happens, okay, the first thing which comes to someone's mind is that those investments are no longer viable.
Yes.
That one is for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And the facilities that they offer nowadays, people would like to actually mostly venture out of town. Town is a bit stressful, even to the tourists,
Yeah, but does it need to be sold as a hotel? Surely.
It now depends. You see, now it is being sold on as it is basis.
Okay, let's go. Let me ask it this way.
Yes.
When it comes to auctions, there's a minimum bid.
Yes.
What happens according to the law if that minimum bid is not met?
The issue is they're selling shares. They're not selling it in totality.
Ah, I see.
The government is the one that is shading their shares. They don't have absolute shares.
Okay.
Yes.
No wonder.
And you see, when I'm selling my shares, there's how the shares are evaluated, their pricing. Therefore, if you tell me you have 52% here, and you tell me it's this and this billion, and looking at it, I don't find it viable, I will not buy those shares.
I see.
Yes. So it is the government shading off their shares.
Okay, so the general public thinks it's the whole building.
No.
where ni share yako unauza.
No. Parastatal usually means it's only that the government has the majority shares.
Yes.
Even KCB is a parastatal.
Bas.
Yes. Any
All
blue
right.
plate institution is a parastatal.
So is it that, so what happens next legally? Because clearly one would think their shares are too high. The
Legally, it
prices-
means that you still remain with your shares until you share them off.
Okay. So it's for them to lower their prices. Sorry, their share price.
Not to lower per se, but there's so many things you put into consideration.
Uh-huh.
Yes. Even when you say you shed off your shares, you also need to make money. Yes.
Yes. Oh, by the way. Okay.
So that you can use this money to either improve another sector or another parastatal.
So in this one, are you seeing the status quo maintaining until forever?
It will be there for a while.
It will be there for a
Or
while.
there is a possibility also, there is someone who is playing around with that particular process.
Bus
You get?
Yes.
So that it appreciates further.
appreciates, not depreciates.
Yes, because government has the capacity even to buy off these other people and now sell it
Okay.
as a full entity.
Okay.
And they can even form government offices.
Okay. So what you're saying is that somebody is not looking for a lower price, somebody is looking for a higher price.
Yes.
I see.
Because we are not being told what is the value of the shares.
Right.
Who are these guys who are bidders?
Right.
All these things, they are just they are confidential.
I like that. Thank you. That brings a bit of a new twist to that particular story. Number two, the Court of Appeal has ordered the government to pay 17.3 billion Kenya shillings to an investor, Peter Mwikali, as compensation for failing to protect his 22,465-acre farm in Narok County from invasion by the local community. Now, this is the thing. This dispute dates back to 1977 when Mr. Njeru purchased the land, but he lost control of it in 1988 due to encroachment by locals, allegedly with police support. The compensation was calculated based on the land's value at 770,000 per acre, reflecting its current estimated worth. That one of here, I found this interesting, not because of the invasion. Clearly, people come and invade your land, know you're entitled to compensation. But the fact that this goes back to 1977, and the squatters came and did their thing 10 years later, 11, in 1988. Are you saying according to the law, because this guy went to court clearly in 88, there's no arrested development and price there. It goes to the current value of today.
Yes.
So you mean then some people who then will pray that the squatters stay there for the next 50 years if somebody is squatting on their land?
What happens is this. One, the court has to determine
Yes.
if you are the legal owner.
Bas.
So obviously he has confirmed that he was the legal owner of that particular parcel of land since 1977.
Yes.
Then the invasion came in 1988.
Yes.
You see, now there are two issues that have to be looked at and determined. One, there is the constitutional issue, whereby you have a right to enjoy your property without any interference, which he was denied. Two, the government has a right to protect you in such circumstances. However, it is the government that assisted, because these squatters came in with the help of the police.
Yes.
Those are constitutional rights that were actually infringed on.
Yes.
Then now we look at the issue of loss of user. That if he was in possession from 1982, is it 82?
77.
No, 77 is okay.
80,
until that time where he was dispossessed. 88.
Yes.
If he was in possession of this particular parcel of land from 1988 to 2025, what profits would he have gained
I see.
from that whole parcel?
I see.
So that is how the court is able to look at. And then these costings now also come with the valuation Valuation is done at market price at the point of rendering a judgment.
What?
Yes.
So let us be very clear. So
If you dispossess me today a land in if you dispossess me a land in current in
Thank you.
in 1960,
yes,
maybe it was like 50,000 Kenya
yes,
shillings.
yes,
Now it's around 75 million.
yes.
If you give me this 50,000, it's surely
But
what is this 50,000 shilling going to help me with? And you've also enjoyed that period being in that parcel of land till 2025.
so this is when you talk about enjoying the use of your land. It's not just then farmland, Baba. It's also now, for example,
whole parcel of land.
I love it. So even somebody who's listening to you in Imaradaima, it's the same story.
Same story. If they could have taken half, the court would have looked at it vis-a-vis the half portion that they have. They're in possession. But as it is, he was evicted, in other words.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm going to ask a very malicious question.
Yes.
That said, because obviously in terms of matters law, your end of the table knows it better than this end. Then are there then some people who are in court and they're like, anyway, then they find out that from the advocate. And like, can we drag up this matter for another 10 years?
Litigation never ends. If I come,
I like that good answer.
If I'm made aware, as Africans,
yes,
we've through the years now we've been able to understand our rights,
yes,
the constitution, so many things, which in the 90s I think like 4 people knew: Kenneth, yes, Matiba, Jaramogi, and the only 4, and then they could yes, they could interpret it for us.
Yes.
And again, the African culture, people are not used to issues of writing wills and this and this.
Yes.
So someone dies, he did not tell the family this. You come to know about these properties later on in life.
Right.
It is not your mistake.
Right.
So you are allowed to go through that process and find out, how did this move from my father or this and this.
Right.
Yes.
Good one.
And if that particular person in possession did not get a proper title from your deceased parent,
right,
then you can challenge it. But if he comes and shows you, this is the sale agreement I had with your father, this is the signature, all and all, this was the consideration, then well and good. That is a legitimate transaction.
Okay.
Yes.
Can we talk constitutional law matters?
No worries. Yes.
Now, and of course, this has been a big story. So this morning, I'm like, oh man, here comes the wasps. A new bill has been proposed in Parliament that seeks to remove the Auditor General as head of the National Audit Office. The bill aims to give the Auditory Advisory Board control over budgets, human resources, and other key decisions, limiting the Auditor General's independence. This bill is sponsored by the National Assembly Majority Leader, Imani. Okay? Now, we all know what the Auditor General does. Do we, as a citizenry, need to wait for this bill to go through all the processes? And God forbid, Packet gets ascension into law. Or can we arrest that process now, legally, without going to the streets? Can somebody come to your office and say, Wakili, I need you to do 1, 2, 3, 4? It's only Omtata who can do that.
Anyone can do it.
But
I'll tell you, and I always repeat this, that Kenyans, we are jokers. We joke too much. The office of the Auditor General,
yes,
is a constitutional office.
Imagine.
And you want to usurp powers from that particular office, yes, through a bill.
Yes. Yes.
That's what I'm saying, people are jokers.
Yes.
And it is Kimani Ichung'wah,
yes,
leader of majority.
Well, they're doing something else on this side. Do you understand?
I get it.
Me, in my mind, I think that is what that's the game. They're not going to be caught flat-footed like you did last year. So let's do something that is so ridiculous.
Yes.
That whatever it is that we want to do with the right hand, that whatever it is we want to do with the left, they will not see it coming. That's my take. But you were saying, Esquire,
Where was I?
that, you know,
Yes.
we
You can never usurp those powers through a bill.
Right.
And what you can only do is to amend the Constitution to that extent.
Right.
And it is very well outlined
Yes.
how you can amend the Constitution.
Yes.
And they know very well they have no capacity to do that.
Right.
So this is just it's a funny thing.
Yes.
As I told you, it's Cartoon Network. Now, coming to talking about the issue of going to court.
Yes.
I usually wouldn't like to advise someone
Right.
to go to court
As an individual.
when a process is still ongoing.
I get it.
How sure are you it will pass?
It might be rejected.
Because if you go to court, they'll tell you, what are you bringing? I'm bringing a bill. Has it been passed into law? It is important to know that, so that when it is passed in law is when now you can go with all the ingredients to have it that it is a nullity ab initio.
Okay.
Because now you cannot stop people from discussing. You can
That's
stop
what I
from
wanted
the
to ask.
decision.
That is what I wanted to ask. The us as a citizen, we cannot stop them from discussing.
Yes. Because it simply means you have presumed their decision.
Yeah.
Discussing is not an issue.
Sure.
The outcome
Yes.
is what can be nullified.
Right.
Yes.
I like that. Now, finally, on matters law, yes, that has been. I saw this and I was like, wow. We have a former Kiambu governor,
Yes.
Ferdinand Waititu,
Yes. Baba Yao.
Baba Yao,
Yes.
Madam, and a few others, all right, were sentenced to jail or option of a fine, right?
Or both.
All both. And remember,
The only one the fine is the wife.
is the wife.
500,000 Kenya shillings.
Okay. And we caused a hue and cry.
Yes.
Because the figure was 533 million and him was fined, I think it was 50 something. And guys were like, you mean? And then apparently, no.
It was fair.
That was fair because that was the figure that was attached to him.
It was a fear. Yes, exactly.
All right. Now, this is the thing. I saw this morning that, do you know that Ferdinand Waititu is still in prison?
Yes.
Though he's allowed to make phone calls and now wears striped uniform, he's currently at industrial area. What is the bail process? First of all, explain to us. Now, when one is charged in court,
Yes.
what is cash bail?
Cash bail.
You pay the court in the cop shop.
It is an amount of you deposit it in court.
Okay.
The court has an account, KCB actually.
Okay, I like that.
You deposit and you are given a receipt.
What is the one I leave in the police station?
That is a police bond, which immediately you take plea. Or take plea means you are charged. The police usually, when they bring the file, they come also with your money. And you give them the receipt. And
Sorry, teacher. No, I want you to explain this very slowly.
Yes.
For those of us who have gone to the police station but not gotten to court.
Yes.
Are we together?
You know now. Yes.
Yes. Now, that money that we leave there,
Yes.
inaitwa bail, sio?
Yes.
How come that one we don't get back? No, sorry, I asked the question the wrong way. Should we get that money back?
Was it receipted?
Oh, yani yuko receipt wanapatianga?
Yes. if you're not given a receipt, my friend, hiyo ni sadaka.
Okay.
Yes.
So ideally what you're saying, and I want it to be very clear for that person who is on his way to the police station right now.
Yes.
Are we together, wakili?
Yes.
So tukifika hapo mbele.
Yes.
They say, hey, we, toa nani uko na pesa? Yeah, toa mishipi, left shoe and the whatever. Then go inside. Weka simu hapa. That that amount of monies.
Yes.
Si ati tumeongea huko nje. Sasa zile ati wewe afande no. That one we know.
Yes.
Tafadhali bwana boss.
Yes.
That now once we get inside. And then unaambia we cash bail yako. Nakimbia usirudi nyuma, usiangalie nyuma. They are told
That's not a cash bail.
What is that?
That's a bribe.
Okay.
For lack of a better word. or you can say facilitation.
That is facilitation
because
to make your
these
exit.
guys pick you from Ngong Road to Kilimani. And they have used fuel.
I like that. No. You see, these are things that...
Or it's called disbursement.
Disbursement.
Yes.
I like the way he's putting these terms that makes it sound so sanitary and clean. I like that. So that's called disbursement money. Now you know. Okay, so that one you will not get back.
Yeah, no, I'm telling you, there's no receipt. That one is not coming back.
Now, ile ingine wakiandika, hiyo ni gani? That now wakiandika na wanakupatia receipt.
See, it's a cash bill.
That's a cash
What
bill.
happens is this. You are either arrested, let's say a traffic offense, or whatever case.
But
Then you're taken to the police station.
Yes.
Or someone has made a complaint.
Yes.
And you are the suspect.
Yes.
You are called. You are summoned there.
to the police station.
Yes, and maybe because they're still under investigation.
Yes.
They tell you we can release you. However, you have to deposit some security.
But
That's what is called police cash bail or bond. But bond to that extent that is applied. So just a police bail.
But
You get, because mostly it is you pay cash, and then they write you a receipt.
Yes.
And then even there's a place they write when you should be appearing before them, or if the file is conclusive. And mostly this happens when, let's say you are arrested on Friday, they'll tell you on Monday, come to court, this particular court. The charges, the file will be ready for you to take plea. So they'll come with your file, and also they'll come with the cash.
okay.
So once you take plea, you'll give them the receipt, and you sign that you've received your money back, because that money is supposed to assist you in now paying for the cash bail, the court cash bail.
I see.
Because the court might now say that because you've pleaded not guilty, you can be released through a cash bill of, let's say, 100,000, and you had given the police 50. So you just add another 50. But if it is not receipted, chances of you even going to take plea are zero. Yes, that is just facilitation. They are just disturbing you. That thing has no tail or head.
I love this. So thank you for clarifying that. So now you've told us the process from what happens in the cop shop. Now what happens from the cop shop to Kotini. Now let's stay in court. Because this is now what is important. Because remember, we want to end up with Waititu and Istoro.
Yes.
Now in court, when we hear there's an option of a fine. Now let's start with stories of this one was called loitering. Wanielewa?
Yes.
Yeah. D&D, drunk and disorderly.
Yes.
Okay? Not murder, whatever. Wewe lipa fine, ama uende ufagie. That one works how?
Yes. Fine will pay, I don't know, 500 shillings.
Simple.
Yes.
So that is, so clearly we're starting
that. That you've been sentenced.
But you've been sentenced.
You have accepted the charges.
But
yes, you've said yes, guilty.
But
yes.
No, and then you unakuanga na record.
Yes.
You'll not
but
have
you
a
see,
record.
That one is a misdemeanor. I've never seen drunkard and disorderly go to DCI to have their prints.
Okay, so
that's brought in a lorry.
Bus.
Yes. 500 bob, 55.
Bus.
Or you mop the court.
There we go.
Yes.
Now that one is bottom rung. Everyone understands. Thank you for clarifying that.
Yes.
Now let's go to the next one where you're told, Aya, wewe, you have been so and so Edward Kerry Francis. You either pay 20,000, okay, or you go to inside for 2 months. Yeah.
That is if you have been found guilty or you've
so that is sentencing.
Yes, you've admitted the charges.
Okay.
They can say you pay a fine of 20,000.
Yes.
Or 6 months in prison. Or,
that one.
Yes. Sometimes you can say both, but I doubt for these misdemeanors, no.
Okay, so it's either or.
And you see, for this, what people should understand is you can be fined 20,000 or imprisonment for 30, so let's say 60 days, right? When you start serving and your people in the village manage to get even 10K and you've served for 30 days, they can pay their 10K and you leave.
That's not what I wanted to ask. That is the question.
Yes.
Yes. So, so when they say it's either or,
yes.
If your sentence is 6 months,
yes,
But then we have managed,
But there was
unfortunately.
an alternative
Yes.
of a cash, of a fine
Yes.
of, let's say, 30,000.
Yes.
Yes.
If then it takes 5 months to get that 30,000.
Yes.
Obviously, there are some people.
They will deduct that amount. They'll deduct. Let's say you were to be there for 6 months, and after 5 months is when they have raised
Let's say
the
my
money,
patikana, yes.
right?
Yes.
They will deduct. It's apportioned. Every day is apportioned vis-a-vis the 30K.
I see.
So you might end up paying even 7,000
Aha.
only, or even
Thank you.
5.
Yes.
Yes.
That's what I wanted
If you
to
have
know.
10,000, let him
Yes.
do a month and then
Bas.
pay the other. Yes.
Aha. Good one.
During his sentence, if you can get some money, it will be equated to the time he has served, then he'll be out.
Right.
Yes.
So when they say the option of a fine, so there's no hard fast rule that when it's either or.
Yes.
Yeah. Because you can go there and meet people are fundraising somewhere else.
Yes.
Okay. So then that has kind of explained it. So now for the Tuleman, because guys are like, you mean a former governor doesn't have this kind of, I think it's 50 mic.
His properties were frozen. He has nothing. I always tell
my God.
there's a difference between hard cash in the bank and assets in terms of land and vehicles and this and this.
Oh, that is
those
what's
who are
happening.
frozen. He has another anti-corruption case.
Wow.
Yes, because Ititu is in problems. That one I won't lie to you.
Hii ni kesi ya Iliwe Funzo.
I'm telling you.
No wonder he's still inside because there's no liquidity.
Yes.
And they can't access bank account and they can't sell anything.
All those assets were frozen. Even before he was charged in this matter.
What? Keep your friends close.
But you see, again, once you pay the fine, you cannot appeal.
Oh,
Yes.
so it's a catch-22.
The way now that the wife paid the 500,000, you see she's not part of the appellants.
Wow.
You've already accepted to
Yes.
to honor the
Yes.
sentence. You cannot honor it halfway.
You can't have one leg in, one leg out, brother.
Yes.
Wakili Martin Wanjira Okonji, thank you for taking us to school on that one.
Karibu.
We have learnt a lot today. Could pass through my favorite cop shop, Langata Police, try and get my refund.
Do you have a receipt?
Watu walikuwa wanacheza na mimi. Anyway.
You have receiptless funds.
So when we get back, thank you very much there, Wakili. When we get back, then it is now the question at hand. And remember today somebody wrote in and says, "Hi, Wakili, I am a landlord and have rented out a standalone house to a tenant. However, after a prolonged period of rent default, I instructed the tenant to vacate within 1 week. That in itself, I see there's a problem. Since then, the tenant has neither shown up nor complied, but has instead double-locked the house. Would it be legally acceptable, Wakili, for me to break the locks, remove the tenant's belongings for safekeeping, and proceed to rent the house to a new tenant?" That is the question. You've got to love the way he explains matters law. He's going to break this one down to us first legally, what the law says, and then he's going to give this landlord his piece of advice. It is Advocate Martin Okonji Wanjira Esquire in studio from Okonji Wanjira and Associates Advocates, which is located where, brother?
Ajib House, Wing B, 6th floor.
Okay, where's
Flat
Ajib
number
House?
8, Al Selassie Avenue.
Indeed. Back with Wakili next. Indeed, man, it is Legal Tuesday. That means, you know what, we've got an advocate of the High Court of Kenya here doing the Lord's work. The Lord's work means that basically it's pro bono. Pro bono means that you ask a question of us. We will ask it of the individual Wakili, and then hopefully you will reach some sort of consensus, not only within yourself but with the other parties that be. That said, today we have in studio, by the way, we said 2025, we're doing it a different way, and here he is managing partner of Okonji Wanjira and Associate Advocates. We've got Martin Okonji Wanjira in studio. Thank you very much for coming through, Advocate. And listen, so today somebody's written and it says, "Hi Wakili, I'm a landlord and I've rented out a stand-alone house to a tenant. However, after a prolonged period of rent default, I instructed the tenant to vacate within a week. Since then, the tenant has neither shown up nor complied and has instead double-locked the house. Would it be legally acceptable for me to break the locks, remove the tenant's belongings for safekeeping, and proceed to rent the house to a new tenant?" That is the question, Wakili Okonji. Now,
Yes.
remember we had said, there's several ways we're going to skin this cat. Now, first of all, remember you're breaking it down to there were several points. Tuambie, because I know sometime last year, because obviously at the end of every month, there's always that, push and pull. Mara rent tribunal, ango, Mara auctioneers, nini. Take us through those points, Baba. What does the law say?
Before even you get to the issues of the law,
Yes.
first we must appreciate that the landlord has recognized that there is a relationship between himself and the tenant. That's why he calls him a tenant.
Okay.
So there is a relationship.
Right.
Once there is a relationship which is legally binding, even the exit or the end or seizure of that relationship must be legally done.
So what you're saying is that once, assuming that relationship, now this is just words, but if there's
Even
at
in
least,
divorce,
yes,
you
if you sign a document, it can't. The guy
Yes.
can't just come and say "Kwenda."
you must go and have it nullified.
Ah,
So there also has to be a competent tribunal or court that can nullify this relationship. And that particular court is the one that will give him all the mandatory orders he seeks to do whatever he wants to do. Because one, to his point, or to the extent of his action, the 7 days notice is not sufficient,
of course,
even as prescribed by law.
surely, yes.
Usually for tenancies, it's usually 30 days.
1 month,
Yes, 1 month notice. And that is why people usually pay that 1 month deposit.
but
Because that is the security that holds, right?
yes,
Two, a landlord can only levy distress if you're in default of rent for 2 months.
yes, that is important.
Yes?
Let's be clear. So hold on. When you're checking in, I don't know now. Industry standard is 1 month's rent, 1 month's deposit. Let's keep it simple like that. Yes. So if it's 50,000 rent per month, so that's 100 Gs.
Yes.
Okay. When you want to check out, the landlord must give you 1 month's notice.
Yes.
Hey.
And you should also give the landlord, if you want to leave, a 1 month's notice. That one usually applies to tenancies of residential nature,
Yes.
not business premises.
Okay. There's a difference.
Yes, there's a very difference. Even the tribunals that handle their matters are different. For residential areas, you go to the rent restriction tribunal.
Right.
Business, you go to the business premise and rent tribunal.
Right.
Yes.
So go on, and then you said in terms after the notice.
So on his part, he has not given sufficient notice.
The landlord.
Yes. So his notice is a null,
But
as it is.
yes.
But this one does not stop him
Yes.
from recovering the rent arrears.
But there's deposit, Jatel.
For how long has the person?
No. We're assuming. We said. You see now. No, you said something about 2 months.
For a prolonged. However, after a prolonged period of rent default, prolonged. This one cannot be 1 month.
Okay. So what did you say about 2 months?
That one I was talking about notice. 1 month. I was saying 1 month notice.
Okay.
To terminate. He has given him a 1 week notice.
Okay. But are you saying that a landlord can only this is domestic, eh?
Yes.
Household, right?
Yes.
Somebody, if they've only not paid arrears, if it's 2 months.
I was talking about the 2 months.
Yes.
That's what the law prescribes.
What does it say exactly?
That after that you can levy distress, meaning you can send auctioneers.
So to somebody listening to you right now, they're saying, you mean I can chill with the landlord for 60 days? Ndio wanifuate.
You see already,
yes.
In as much as the I call it the deposit, usually you're not supposed to utilize it.
Yeah.
For reasons that is when you are living, it is for repair this and this and then,
such like things.
And then you are given your balance, which I've never seen anyone been given. To be realistic,
yes.
Because they'll make sure they utilize all that money.
Yes.
But legally, you're supposed at least to be in arrears for 2 months.
60 days.
60 days.
Yes.
After that, they can now levy distress, meaning they can send auctioneers to pick your things for purposes of sale, to recover this amount of money that is in arrears.
Okay.
Take note. Levying distress does not mean that your tenancy has now been terminated. You're still a tenant. Unless the landlady or landlord now goes to court now to state, using that reason that you are in arrears of this and this, to now terminate the tenancy or release. But you can enter a house that has no furniture, you put a bulb and you stay. Yes.
So auctioneers wanaweza kuja wabebe vitu zako, lakini wewe bado
ni still a tenant.
The relationship
is still there.
Imesambaratika, lakini bado haijaisha.
He has taken my seats to recover those times, the months that have not paid. But there is no termination.
Yes.
So I can come in, buy new seats, and proceed with life. Yes.
Wow.
Most people think that by the time auctioneers come and pick
the
your
relationship
things,
is over.
No.
Wewe ni kuondoka.
No.
You see, now we know.
Yes.
Wewe bado hiyo nyumba ni yako.
Yes.
Go and get a stool.
Yes.
And continue with life. Then that begs the question, then, okay, because now you're educating us. So once the auctioneers have come and then they have taken my two things.
They give you 14-day notice.
14 days, ne?
Yeah.
Now, after that 14 days, I'm not able to come up with the color.
Yes.
They'll sell the things, ne?
They sell.
Now, the money they will cover, because usually they value it very low. Let's assume they get, now I will not owe the landlord that amount of money.
Yes.
Where do I get do they ever tell the people who stuff they've auctioned how much they auctioned it for?
Because that is again the ignorance that tenants have. Because these things, once they take them from your house, you disappear.
Exactly.
The process of auctioneering is a long process. Once they levy distress, then after that they have to, after that they take away now your household goods. Then they have to advertise. There has to be an advertisement.
On what? On WhatsApp?
Sorry?
On what? What platform?
No,
WhatsApp?
This gazette.
That's what. No. You need to vocalize
notice,
it.
Yes.
Yeah.
They put notices that they're going to sell this and this.
Unafundisha.
The parklands or where they'll say the grounds where they're selling them. And then after that, once they've sold, they have to produce a certificate of sale to show how these things were sold.
To who?
You get me?
Certificate of sale to whomst?
To court.
Allah.
Because if you go and say, these people took my things worth 3 million.
Yes.
And these people are usually funny. There's someone they went and valued his motor vehicle, a Mercedes Benz, at, 350,000.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
These auctioneers are very funny people.
Yes.
And people don't know that there's an auctioneering disciplinary board.
Yes.
I would really encourage you people to go there because most of them are crooks.
Yes.
I will tell you without a doubt.
Come on.
They're even crooks to lawyers. We send them to go and do a proclaim, do this. They go and take bribes from the other party.
Right.
You're getting me?
Yes.
Yes. Most of these auctioneers are crooks, and I'll tell you without a doubt.
I can see the fire in your eyes.
I'm actually supposed to name one, but let me just keep quiet. Some very useless boy.
Right.
Yes. I'm sorry to use that word.
It's okay. You have not named him. So listen.
So, I believe in one thing. When it comes to someone's private property,
yes.
As Luos and lawyers, we are very... When it comes to issue like a bed and a mattress,
yes.
if you take my bed and mattress, I can never come back for it.
Yes, which is true. Yes.
And then you find someone just taking it as a casual thing.
Right.
Yes.
So because now we're learning. So there's somebody who's, as we speak,
because they don't sell them, they take possession of these things. The same auctioneers are the ones who take them and take them to the houses.
Okay, Advocate Safi, now they have come. God forbid somebody's house is being swept right now.
Yes.
What do they do?
One, you can salvage these things within the 14 days, within the period before auction.
That's obvious. That's given.
They cannot sell before that period.
Okay.
Yes.
14 days have come.
Yes.
What happens next?
After that, they now advertise.
Okay.
Yes.
In the standard newspaper. And then what happens next?
They sell.
Okay. Now they call everyone to Kamkunji grounds.
It does not mean in the first instance of advertisement, all those goods will be sold, or even one will be sold. Sometimes none is even sold.
Yes.
So then there has to be another advertisement informing the public that there'll be an auction.
Right.
Yes. And the goods are listed.
Sharp.
Yes.
Okay. Now, once so God forbid it takes 3-4 processes. Every time the microwave is sold.
Yes.
And then the next time, which might be 2 months later, it's the Jiko. Are me, who my microwave was sold, am I told? No.
One commodity.
Yes.
From a
yes. Yes.
Because you see, there is a record. Yes.
Okay.
There's a record that this was sold for this.
Okay.
However, you see, the record is vis-a-vis the proclamation that was levied at your place.
What is a proclamation?
The proclamation is when they come, they say 7-seater, valued, condition poor,
yes,
7K.
Safi.
Fridge.
Yes.
That is the proclamation.
Right. That one is left with you.
Yes.
As a tenant.
Yes, but they have a copy. Okay. And that is why I'm telling you about these Ukora of these auctioneers.
Yes. No, we're not going to dwell on that because of time.
Okay. I just want to tell you that they can come to your house, you're not there, and they proclaim from outside.
They look through the window.
Yes. And once something has been proclaimed, you cannot dispose of that thing because that's also an illegality. So they can even write that you have a double door fridge, maybe you have these dwarf ones.
Bas.
Yes. And they say you replaced it during the 14 days. Wow. Once something has been proclaimed, you cannot dispose of it.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Now, so let's be clear because we've got 3 minutes to the news.
Yes.
Because what you're saying is very interesting now. Now, first of all, there's you can appeal to. There's also an auctioneers tribunal. You say?
Yes.
What's it called?
Auctioneers, what? So just auctioneers tribunal. You just
very well.
But I know it. They deal with the messes of the auctioneers.
Now, once somebody's these
auctioneers board.
Auctioneers board.
Yes.
Once they're selling your property, okay. How? Because ideally they're selling it to pay the landlord.
Yes.
Okay. Once and you still have a contract with the landlord legally.
Yes.
Very good. Once they've paid the landlord, you're in a katwa kwa madeni.
Yes, and that is why I'm saying that once you are proclaimed, you will always be indebted to the landlord because whatever the auctioneers take will never
get the value of what the landlord wants.
Yes.
Wow.
It will never.
Wow. I like that.
Yes.
Do you think that's why people avoid them like the plague?
Exactly. It's better. That's why people live now.
Because it can
a new life somewhere. You will never ever have household things enough to satisfy the arrears and even the next month, even if your things are worth millions. Because the auctioneers will make sure that they frustrate you.
It'll never be square game.
Never. That's what I tell you.
That's very interesting.
Yes.
That's good to know, by the way. You can have
Sometimes
furniture.
people opt and say, just take it's better buy new things. And you leave the premise.
You can, hold on.
Because they still come back for your...
I'm asking you a question.
Yes.
You can have a property there worth 1.2 million. Nadeni ni 100. Auctioneers will make sure it's worth that amount.
Even 80,000. And you know, there's some things you cannot take as an auctioneer. They're called tools of trade.
Yes. What is that?
When you come to my house...
Yes, you can't take the jiko.
Let's say you come to my house and you find a laptop and you find maybe statutes.
Yes.
Those are my tools of trade. It's what I use to earn a living.
Yes.
You cannot take them.
Wow. Good one.
If you come to my house and you get a double, whatever, a gas cooker, and you find a meko, you're supposed to take only the gas cooker and leave me the meko.
So I can cook.
So that I can cook. You can't take both of them. You should leave me something to at least niendelee na maisha.
All right, now we want to go into the news, but before we get there, then the final one, because then you're going to give this person, because you've now broken down the law. The final one, you said, now, after all these items are sold, they are supposed to come to you, auctioneers. We've got 30 seconds, Wakili.
Yes.
And tell you your stuff was sold for so much.
Yes.
They never do that.
They never. There has to be a certificate of sale. To show these things were sold at this amount. Now, this is the difference which you're supposed to pay.
You've got to love him. It's Advocate Martin Okonji Wanjira Esquire in studio. What is your experience? What are your thoughts? As a landlord, as a tenant, rent default. Witness says, hi Wakili. I'm a landlord and I've rented out a standalone house to a tenant. However, after a prolonged period of rent default, I instructed the tenant to vacate within a week. Since then, the tenant has neither shown up nor complied and has instead double-locked the house. Would it be legally acceptable for me to break the locks, remove the tenant's belongings for safekeeping, and proceed to rent the house to a new tenant? Now, in the process of Wakili breaking down this in terms of matters law, we found out a few things. Number one, I'm talking about you as the ordinary mwananchi. You're not a lawyer. You're not a landlord. And even some landlords don't know these manenos. And most importantly, you're a tenant. That first of all, before as a landlord comes for distress in terms of to you as the tenant, it needs to be, and we're talking about domestic. Is it called domestic? Or household?
Residential.
Residential.
Yes.
It is 2 months.
Yes.
Right? And then try your very best test. This one got me. Not for the landlord to call upon auctioneers to come to your digo. Because even if the amount being sought is 50,000.
That is to levy distress. That's the 2 months.
Yes.
But sufficient notice is usually 30 days.
So here the one
or
of
what is prescribed in the written lease or tenancy agreement.
Good. And speaking of tenancy agreement, they say even if this, for example, here's the landlord speaking, and the landlord gave the tenant 1 week to vacate. That one is it's against the law.
It's against the law.
Very good. And
usually they fall under what we call controlled tenancies.
But
yes.
When you say what we call, how about you break that down first? What are controlled tenancies?
These tenancies that the general ones.
Okay.
Whereby there's a written agreement or even if there's no, they have a prescribed basic guide laws that
contract.
Yes, that govern those types of relationships.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then also you've said that even after a landlord has, you said it's distress. Now ameita auctioneers.
Heavy distress, yes.
The auctioneers wamebeba vitu.
Yes.
You and the landlord still have a contract.
Yes.
Which means you can still occupy that house.
Exactly.
Because you have a contract.
Until when now he officially proceeds to terminate that relationship. And once he terminates that relationship, he or she has to go to court.
Yes.
Has to give you sufficient notice.
Yes.
And within that period during that period, you have a right to actually object to that notice. The notice is in a prescribed form, which will be served upon you, if and when you have an objection to that notice, you approach the relevant tribunal, which is the Rent Restriction Tribunal, and you put your objection there in terms of a claim.
Good one.
Yes. And before that particular claim, before that objection is heard and determined, you're still a tenant.
Nice one.
Yes. And in the meantime, when you approach that particular tribunal, you can seek orders for them not to effect the notice.
Yes.
Pending determination. And you see, mostly these tribunals, I will not lie to you, they are tenant friendly. If you go there and you don't get orders, you must be a very bad tenant.
The tribunals tend to look at the best interest of the...
Generally,
yes.
They are tenant friendly.
I like that.
So if you go there and they don't give you orders...
Yeah, those ones of... I don't want to stereotype.
You are not supposed to be someone's tenant.
It's those...
you should just build your house.
Masudan, those ones who, they cook fires in the living room. Those ones.
I'm telling you, you are not supposed to be a tenant.
I like that.
Because you can even approach them and tell them, in fact, this person has locked my house.
Yes.
And indeed, I have arrears of like even 300,000.
Yes.
But life is hard.
Yes.
I'm ready to pay, let's say I'm paying 50,000 a month.
Yes.
I'm ready to pay like 100K per month.
Yes.
The 50 being the
rent,
the recurring.
Yes.
And then the
other 50, yes,
from this arrears.
Bas.
And the court will grant you orders as long as you do not fail to honor it.
Right.
Yes. And they will tell you pay that and continue paying this.
Yes. And then most importantly, don't try your bestest.
Yes, because
you'd rather go to rent tribunal.
You should appreciate also people should even, I'm saying landlords. There was that period, COVID period. So many businesses and even just normal whatevers had issues with rent and this and this.
Yes.
Some people are still even paying those arrears now.
Wow.
Yes. While they're still going on with business.
Yes.
Yes. It was a hard time for everyone. Even in as much as people think landlords don't suffer, these people also have loans.
Right?
Yes. They have loans to service.
Yes. By the way.
Yes. So we are all in this together.
Good.
Just people should understand one another.
I like that.
And don't take another party for granted.
Okay.
Yes. And mostly I'll advise that if a landlord landlords should not keep a distance from their tenants. They should, in as much as they have agents or this and this, they should try also to mingle with these tenants.
Yes. Have some sort of
relationship. Because these caretakers and these auctioneers are not good people.
Right.
Yes.
Speaking of auctioneers, you do your best.
Yes. Best, if push comes to shove, is when you can now have an auctioneer come in. Because both of you are going to suffer. Both the tenant.
Aha, I like that.
He will not remit. He'll tell the tenant.
Yes.
I have no problem. I just have a problem with these crook auctioneers.
Right.
But some of them do a good job.
Right.
Yes. But these kiosk ones are very funny people. Because you see, even for the landlord, he'll tell the landlord, the money I recovered was only enough for my fees.
There we go. Okay.
So the tenant doesn't have household goods, the landlord doesn't have money. The auctioneer has benefited and he has gone.
Okay.
Waiting for you to buy new household goods.
Now, if there's a tenant right now and sees there's a auctioneer at the gate, and considering what you've just said, how do you walk back that process?
If the landlord can withdraw the instructions, yes.
I cannot go. Can I go to a lawyer? Can I go straight tomorrow morning to the rent?
You can come to our offices and we get an injunction, but don't just come with flimsy reasons. Yes, come with reasons that are justifiable.
Okay. Do you need a lawyer to go to the rent?
No.
To do in any tribunal?
You don't.
Yes. Where are they?
Rent restriction, they are just, I think, opposite Jivanji there.
Are they only in Nairobi?
No, they rotate.
They go around the country?
Yes, and then even the business premise rent tribunal, they're at View Park Towers. I think, is it 18th, 20th floor?
Right.
No, they're somewhere, but they're in View Park Towers.
Right.
Yes, they also rotate.
Okay. Now, Baba, so, Wakili, we've come to the end of the road. First of all, this landlord, they have broken the law.
to the extent of the 7-day notice. But these are the things that he's seeking. He must get orders from a competent court or tribunal. You get me?
Okay, so what you're saying,
he must first...
No, hold on. Just hold on. Before what he must do is true. But usually, hawa wengine ambaye umesikia ati nani landlord amekuja amevuka na mlango.
Yes.
Those ones are broken the law.
Before even we go there, why I'm saying so is he first has to prepare a new notice. If he goes with this as his
notice, the one of 1 week.
Of 1 week, that is a nullity.
Bas, okay.
That is not sufficient notice.
Bas.
So first he has to prepare, because these notices are given to people so that you can be able to prepare.
Yes.
You cannot get a house in 1 week, get the deposit, get the rent,
yes.
move,
Yes.
Doesn't make sense.
Yes.
And also the 1 month is also given to the landlord so that with that he has ample time to get another tenant.
Bas.
So that his house also is not empty and he doesn't get now money.
Yes.
It works for both parties.
Right.
Yes. So one, he has to have, he should issue a notice that is as prescribed by law.
Right.
If that person is not there, he can affix on the gate and the door.
Yes.
You get me?
Yes.
That is sufficient notice.
Right.
After that, now he has to proceed to court to now have a break-in order and tell the court, I need a breaking order because this person I cannot find this guy and this and this. These days, by the way, you can serve someone through WhatsApp. So you can serve that client through WhatsApp, even the notice.
Right.
Then after that, mostly when you get these breaking orders, you need the assistance of the area police station, OCS, to confirm compliance when you are breaking in. Because I can come and say there was 2 million in my house. You broke in and took my 2 million. So you always also have to seek the assistance of the OCS within the jurisdiction where that particular property is, so that when you are breaking, they are there. When you remove these things to take to that particular safe place he's talking about, they have to be there. And you have to take an inventory also when you are removing these things. Yes, you don't just dump them in a lorry and no. You must take an inventory. I picked this, and you have the inventory.
Can you take an inventory without auctioneers?
No, because you don't have the power of sale. Yes.
So here you're saying, at the end of the day,
as a landlord, you have no money to sell.
Okay.
You can. What I'm saying is this: there has to be an arbiter between two feuding parties.
I like that.
You cannot be the judge and the jury.
Yes.
Yes. It will mean, as a landlord, I don't need to go to court. You may default, open the door, microwave. There has to be some sanity and civility.
Yes.
Yes, when you're handling these matters.
Okay, so let's be clear. So here, first of all, that so-called notice, yeah?
Yes.
You say they've go and redo
it's
it because it's
notice.
Not. Yeah.
Yes.
So let you start right there, and then in terms of access now to the house.
Yes.
You said that after that notice period has ended.
Yes.
Because even here they went there, so you even before the 1 week.
Yes.
So
you just go and it's actually a miscellaneous application for you to break in. You just give reasons why you want to break in.
Yes.
Yes.
Now, then let's go down. Now, please, let's be very clear on the inventory. Because a lot of people do that. They lock and then they go. Exactly. As they hoping that nothing will happen to their stuff. Because that's now storage.
Yes.
As I sort out myself on this other end.
Yes.
Bora hawasinipate. So here, who else can take inventory aside from auctioneers? Because I'm assuming now, let's say after a month, then they go back and the tenant is still not there. But they have been escorted by the police.
There is a distinction between, you see, the auctioneer is actually not taking an inventory. He's levying distress. Meaning is taking an inventory to distress
so that they can sell.
Period they can sell.
Yes.
But for this particular landlord, he is taking an inventory for purposes of confirming what is there
Wakili,
to be put at the storage.
Very good. Who else can take, then who should take that if not an auctioneer?
Are we getting each other?
No. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Auctioneers then they do inventory to sell.
Yes.
Because I'm making it very clear.
Yes.
But you said, now you as a tenant, there's got to be somebody there. There are two parties here to take an inventory.
Yes.
So who do I get? My secretary or my producer?
But you see, for him, for these purposes, the tenant is MIA.
Good. So who's going to... So answer the question.
The landlord.
So I can go with my wife as a landlord. Is that okay?
Yes.
But that's the only answer you need to give me.
But again, there's the police persons there.
Will be there
to confirm compliance.
But as long as there's a cop there who is a witness.
Yes.
But I can go with anyone.
Anyone. Yes.
Thank you. You see how long it took us to get there. You're a good lawyer. So now, and then. Okay. So what is so you've basically broken down the law. Your final piece of advice to this person. And safekeeping, I can keep them anywhere. Because remember, these are not auctioneers.
There's the word safekeeping. So they are safe.
Yes.
So it's not anywhere. Yes.
So I can keep them in my back garden. The electronics I put
that
in
is
the
not
store.
Safekeeping when it rains. Yes, use the word safekeeping. Once you use the word safe, it means these things are very safe.
Right?
Yes.
Storage.
From sunlight,
the elements,
and rain. Yes. There's this thing you are talking about before we go to the tail end. You were talking about this issue of breaking the door, locking the door, and this and this.
Yes.
This is it is not even a tradition. This is mostly auctioneers do it.
Yes.
They come lock your door.
Thank you. Yes.
It is nowhere in law. Even you also, if you break it, you're just frustrating one another. Someone will go and disconnect your electricity and water.
Yes.
This water you don't pay them.
Yes.
Electricity is paid to KPLC. It's a token.
Yes.
How does it affect them?
Yes.
You get me?
Yes.
It is usually just a way of frustrating one another.
Right.
However, they can disconnect electricity if it is illegally wired into the property. If you've done some alteration, that's when they're allowed.
Yes.
Because it poses a danger to the premise.
Yes.
Yes. But if everything is in order.
Yes.
You cannot. If I'm paying Nairobi water is called Nawasco.
Yes.
That is their money. You get, unless it's
got nothing to do with the landlord.
Yes. And if I'm paying electricity, it's token. It goes to Kenya Power.
Yes.
This is something I'm telling you. Generally, a cautious person cannot do. I am late in paying rent. Let's say I pay rent 100,000, right? 2 days, let's say I'm supposed to pay by the 5th. On the 7th, you've disconnected my water, you've disconnected electricity. You have inconvenienced me. And do you expect me, if I'm to pay you on the 10th? This is what... Yes, let's be truthful.
Right.
Because I might decide to go and stay in a hotel for those 3 days. Maybe I'm waiting for some money.
Yes.
Somewhere, or there's some checks there.
And pending. I couldn't charge my phone.
Yes. I cannot stay in the dark. So what do you expect when you open the door for me? That's why you see they're given 2 months. By 2 months, you literally have demonstrated you cannot pay.
Yes.
But this issue of, after the 5th, if you are doing it, there's first interest. I don't know when landlords started having interest generating activity like a bank.
Yes.
That after the 5th, this particular delay adds interest.
Actually.
I never knew this business is a bank.
Right.
I don't know if they have an account with central bank.
Yes.
That is which interest? And if you are soft, they'll take advantage
of you.
And it is just caretaker's money and the agent.
Oh man, we have. So your best advice to this landlord is what, Baba?
First, let him have an appropriate notice. Upon let it be affixed at a distinct place within the premise. Upon
so upper would be Kwagate.
Yes. Unless he has access to the compound.
Yes.
Yes, on the door also.
Bas.
Then upon expiry, he can now go to court, give reasons why, and therefore seek orders to break in, enter with the compliance of the police within that jurisdiction, and take out the household goods, store them, and then after that proceed to have another tenant in place. And then after that, if he finds that this person is nowhere to be seen even after some period, he can still proceed to court, give reasons why he wants to sell to recover part of the money.
Beautiful.
Yes.
BEA.
Because we'll be holding those things as lien.
Thanks so much. Advocate Martin Okonji Wanjira, Esquire, Beautiful job, my brother. See you same place next week. And remember, if you want to touch base with Okili, how do you do that, brother?
Through email. Official email is Okonji Wanjira advocates at gmail.com.
Yes.
My cell phone number is 0703 805 992.
Again.
Or you can 0703 805 992.
Right.
Or you can visit me at Tajib House, 6th floor, flat number 8, along Haile Selassie Avenue.
Managing partner of Okonji Wanjira and Associates. Advocates, please. It's Advocate Martin Okonji Wanjira Esquire. Very good job, my brother. So we have had sage advice and trust that we have learned a lot. What are your thoughts? Share your experiences. We're going to get